and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we are going to talk about a nonprofit in the community that is doing a world of good. My guest is Captain Michael Good from the Salvation Army. Welcome.
Thank you, Robin.
You know, people know the Salvation Army because of the kettles.
Yeah.
I think that people don't always go a lot deeper and know what the organization is exactly and what it does. So I'm going to ask you those things today, if that's all right.
That's fine.
What is the history of the Salvation Army? It is an international organization?
We're an international organization. I started in 1865. We actually just had our 150th celebration. It started in the East End of London from our founder, William Booth, who saw that there was a need for the city's poor. And since then, it's blossomed into the organization of today.
And how long have you been here on the peninsula? You're in Hampton right now, but...
We're in Hampton, yeah. We serve the entire peninsula, so that's Newport News, Hampton, York County, Poquoson, and then also Gloucester and Matthews County. But we arrived here in 1899, so next year will be our 120th celebration, so stay tuned.
Wow.
I'm sure we'll have a big celebration for that.
Wow. So the kettle comes out on the holiday season, and is it fair to say that's your biggest fundraiser?
That's our most known fundraiser, definitely. From shore to shore, everyone knows the iconic Salvation Army Red Kettle. Definitely.
Yeah, and it is, a time when maybe more people are thinking about giving than other times, and you can get folks out there.
Yeah, the holiday season is definitely the time of the year where people are more willing to give, and we're so appreciative of that. And so a large portion of our funding comes from that red kettle that you see outside of local grocery stores and department stores.
Mm-hmm. So what kinds of things do you do with the money that you raise? What are the works that your organization does here in Hampton?
Well, I think
in the area.
Yeah, definitely. I think in order to really help everyone understand who we are, I think it's best probably to start with a story that we have that kind of explains that. My wife and I arrived here in this appointment a year ago, and no one told us that when it rains on the peninsula, it rains. And so around midnight, I got a call from someone who was driving past our building that said that it looked like there was suspicious activity outside. So I, being a big man, went over to find out for myself, but when I got there, the cops were already there. But what we found was a pickup truck with an 80-year-old couple sleeping inside of it. The gentleman would not look at me in the face, and the wife was just crying hysterically. What we soon found out was that this couple had lost their house in some flooding in Poquoson, and instead of asking for help at the time, they used their entire life savings to stay in hotels.
Oh.
In October of that time, their money had finally ran out, and so all their years of hard work was gone. And so the wife said to me, between sobs, as I'm sitting there in my pajamas at midnight, the wife says to me between sobs, "I just knew we would be safe if we got to the Salvation Army." We were able to, we were able to that night put them in emergency shelter, and then our caseworker worked with them for I believe 3 months, and today that couple is now back in their own home, stable, and so that's kind of who we are, and that's where that funding goes.
And isn't that interesting story also because people tend to think of the chronically poor, the generationally poor, and they forget that circumstances can make any of us
Definitely.
in that boat. A disaster, a severe medical issue, I mean, lots of things can, the death of the breadwinner. I mean, there's so many things. People living close to the line. It's a lot.
Yeah. There are many of us that are one paycheck away from being in a soup kitchen or standing in line for service. We are recognizing now that there are many working poor in our communities. And so we're trying to gear our services now to also benefit them instead of those that are just in dire need of emergency assistance.
So emergency assistance, let's talk a little bit more about that because that also is, one of the better known things that you do. What kinds of emergency assistance do you provide? How do you, swoop in and help people if they aren't on your doorstep?
Yes, ma'am. So we have quite a few areas or departments that assist at the Salvation Army. The three biggest, I think, though, would be emergency food, emergency shelter, and emergency utility assistance. We serve every week around 45 families on the peninsula in our emergency food pantry. Those families are able to come in and they shop for fresh vegetables, dairy products, bread and other kind of stuff. And
Wow,
then,
those are the things that are the hardest to come by.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, canned foods, but you need
Yes,
vegetables, you
definitely.
need fruits.
And then on top of that, we also provide frozen meat so that they're not just leaving with canned items, but also things where they can make meals. Last year alone, we served 30,000 meals out of our food pantry, which is a huge number.
Yeah.
So we do that with partner agencies and also partner stores such as Costco and Whole Foods and Food Lion here on the peninsula. So last year alone, 30,000 meals, and that served around 4,000 families here on the peninsula. And then our emergency shelter program. Last year we provided 10,000 nights of shelter for families, which meant there were 10,000 times that someone had a place to lay down, had a blanket, and had a roof over their head. And that's all thanks to our donors.
Now, do you do that in a shelter, or do you have contracts with hotels or different
We have
places?
contracts with hotels. It's what we call a scattered shelter. We have a caseworker that is solely in charge of that program, and we try within 90 days. That's really the time period that we have. We have 90 days to really find stable housing for these individuals, these families. All of them are families, so they have children within the household. And we are happy and proud to say that we have a 95% success rate in that program.
Oh, wow.
So when these families leave our program after 90 days, 95% of them will never return for assistance. They are stable, they have stable income, and now stable housing.
And that's important because it's not just the emergency, it's not just the crisis. People have to be able to sustain.
Yes, and that's our goal is, I think for a long time in social work, that, we've put Band-Aid over situations that need total surgery. And so now we're trying to look at it as a whole and trying to see where the issue is. So that's what we do for our emergency shelter program, and we have a phenomenal caseworker that knows the families by name, knows the issues that they go through, and she's able to walk through life with them. And then the third biggest program that I think we offer right now is our utility assistance program. Utilities can run high during the summer months where the air conditioning is always on, or especially during the winter where the heat is always on.
Yeah, you've got those big spikes of cost.
And it's huge, especially for our older population who they are on a fixed income. And so we assist around 120 families a week in our utility assistance program. And we're able to help them keep their lights on or keep their water on so that they can still stay in their homes. And it's a phenomenal program that we offer.
And you know that one of the sad things about the utilities is if you get behind, the costs just mount.
Yes.
And it's very hard to get out of that hole because you've got to pay reconnection fees, you've got additional deposits, you've got all the back amount. If someone can keep that from happening, it's an investment.
Definitely. And also what we've soon realized is that when let's say your water gets turned off or your electricity gets turned off, there are times where you can get served an eviction notice because your electricity is off.
Oh,
and
it's
so
a non-habitable dwelling.
Yeah,
at that
it creates
point.
a bigger problem. And so we try to stop the problem at the source. And with that, of course, we do offer, we don't just help with paying these bills, but we also offer other ways. Maybe they need to find a better job, so we help with resume writing or job searches. We help with budgeting classes. So we try to look at this epidemic as a whole instead of just paying bills. We want to do more than that.
Right, right. There's a difference between an older person on a fixed income who hits a little bubble and somebody who's going to have a chronic problem.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with.
Yeah. And then probably what I'm most excited about right now is in October we are rolling out a new program called Pathway of Hope here on the peninsula. And it is individualized, intense case management. And what it really does is it allows our caseworkers to walk side by side with families that want to escape generational poverty. And we're able to take a hard look at their life and look at their bills, look at what they're spending their money on, look at the issues that typically case managers don't get to see. And those families give us permission to really take a look at their life. It's a 6-month to a year journey with them. And within that time frame, our goal is to get them from a place of dependability to stability. And so we're really excited about this new program we're rolling out.
So how is that going to work? Tell me just a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so our case managers identify families that come through our program for emergency needs, shelter,
Come
food.
in with a crisis.
They come in with a crisis. And our biggest thing is this: we look for families that desire change. I think that's the biggest issue. You may not have the tools to change on your own, but you have a desire. You have a fire within you to do something better. And so that's the first step that we look for. It is a program for families. We do believe that in something called generational poverty, where if grandma was stuck in poverty, more than likely mom is stuck in poverty, and now her children are learning what it means to be stuck in poverty.
It's what they see.
It's what they see. It's their norm.
Mm-hmm.
It's their norm. However, we believe that there's so much more to life than just being stuck in poverty. And so part of our desire to no longer put Band-Aids on situations is rolling out programs like Pathway of Hope. So we're really excited for this program. Right now we have our first 3 families that we're enrolling, and we will be starting the program up in October.
That's exciting.
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
have to have you come back in a year and tell us how that went.
Sounds good. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so you said, did you say three things?
Yeah, those
Okay.
were our 3 emergency. However, we do a lot more than just that. We have a community center, which a lot of people don't know about. And within our community center, we provide faith-based activities for adults as well as children. We have something called Club 316 at the Salvation Army, which is kind of like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but our version of it. Children learn the basic skills of life while also earning badges. I'm a product of this program from many years ago. Children learn art, photography, hiking, camping, how to cook, how to coupon, how to budget. And so it's a great, great program. And one of the best things about this program is that if you finish it, we actually have the ability to offer scholarships for college through this program. As well as we have a music program free for children in our community. We teach brass band, dance, drama, choir. We believe that art has the ability to change a child, and music has the ability to change a child. So those are kind of the 2 things that we offer right now for children. And then we also...
And those are after school, summer, weekend?
After school, yeah, definitely after school, twice a week. And then during the summertime and during the spring break time, we actually have a low income program for children, day camp, so that children aren't just left at home. They can come and receive nutritious meals and snacks. And we've incorporated for the first time STEAM activities, so science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And the children are having fun, but at the same time, they don't realize that they're learning. So we try to keep their minds going during the entire summer. This summer, we had around 40 children in the program. And then in our music program, we actually have around 65 to 75 children that are currently enrolled in that program. So we're really excited about that. We also have seniors programming on Thursday mornings. Seniors sometimes just need a break from reality. Many of them, you wouldn't believe, sit at home for a week without seeing anyone or talking to anyone. So we've provided an avenue for fellowship. They come to us on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Starts off with bingo, and then it leads into a program where we teach them a new recipe, or they do arts and crafts, or it's just a simple time of fellowship. We take them out shopping, and it's always with lunch. So it's a great program that we offer to kind of get seniors from out of their homes and out so that they can spend time with other people. As well as we have support groups for men and women right now. We have groups that meet weekly that where women can just come and forget about life at home and just be with other women and drink coffee and catch up. And we also have programs designed for them and their life and where they are.
Now, you are a faith-based organization.
Yes, ma'am.
To what extent does your faith influence or who you serve or how you serve them or what the expectations are of your clients?
Yeah, we are a faith-based organization. However, we do serve everyone without discrimination. And so unless the client desires more information about our faith-based activities, it's not a necessity to be a part of them. So we do have church services on Sunday mornings, and we have some faith-based programs during the week. but it's not mandatory for any of our clients to be part of that. They're more than welcome to, though, but it's totally up to them.
Okay. What else is it that you would like us to know before we close?
Yeah, definitely. Our biggest thing that I think everyone knows about is Christmas time at the Salvation Army. That's kind of where we shine the most, I believe, our iconic red kettles. Christmas is not Christmas until you see the red kettles outside of the local Walmart and hear the jingle of the bells. However, a lot of people don't realize kind of the reason we're out there, and that's to fund programs that I just mentioned. But also at Christmas, one of our biggest endeavors is what we call Angel Tree. Last year alone, we provided Christmas to over 5,000 children on the peninsula. And that means that they woke up on Christmas morning with toys and clothing underneath the Christmas tree. Now, I know it's not a necessity, but to an 8-year-old little boy waking up on Christmas, that's what matters. And so we try to provide that to our parents that are struggling and trying to make ends meet. It's a great endeavor. We have lots of local partners that help with that. Ferguson, the Shipyard, Bayport Credit Union, those are some of our biggest partners at Christmas season. So we are always in need of assistance for that. Last year, unfortunately, we had 600 children a week before distribution that did not get adopted.
Oh, no.
And so we were scurrying around town to find donors to help with that. One of the biggest groups that stepped up was Remax Peninsula, and they were a huge supporter of our program within the midnight hours, trying to make sure every child received assistance.
Wow. So you get donations through corporate partnerships, through entities, through individual dimes and quarters and dollars in that kettle. You're a United Way agency, aren't you?
We are a proud United Way agency. We are blessed to be a part of the United Way and have their support, and it means so very much to us.
I'm going to assume that people could choose to donate directly to you, and you'd like to tell us how that happens.
They can, definitely. So there's a couple of ways. You can always donate online at virginiasalvationarmy.org/Hampton VA. That's one of the quickest ways. And it also goes, you can go on there and see kind of what we're up to. Right now, we're in the middle of back to school season, and 700 children as of next week will be provided assistance for back to school so that they can get started on the right foot. You can go online and donate today for that endeavor. As well as Christmas season, you can, when you see the red kettle outside.
Yeah, because who carries cash anymore? I'm sorry.
I know. Well, believe it or not, people at Christmas time, they know the kettle will be out there, and they will go solely to the bank just to make sure that they have cash. But again, that is our biggest fundraiser. And so that goes to make sure that all year long, we can assist those that are truly in the most need. As well as we have coming up our third annual golf tournament. It's called the Red Kettle Classic at Kiln Creek Country Club, and that is September 20th. That's one of our bigger fundraisers too. So if you would like to be a corporate sponsor, you're more than welcome to get in touch with us. And we're also looking for golfers. I will not be golfing that day, but there will be a lot of golfers, so it's a lot of fun and food and a lot of prizes on that day as well. So all of that information is online, again, at virginiasalvationarmy.org/Hampton VA.
Okay, and I assume you occasionally need volunteers or
Yes.
people who can pitch in if they don't necessarily have money to give, but they have time to
Definitely.
give. So.
We are in a dire need of Christmas volunteers. So to ring the bells outside of the stores, start a new family tradition with your kids.
Oh, geez, your family, your Cub Scouts,
Yes.
I mean, I know a lot of the high school kids
Definitely.
do. It's
Yeah.
It's a way of teaching kids
Yeah,
to give back.
and unfortunately, if I don't have volunteers manning, then that means that there's no one covering that entrance. So we are in desperate need of volunteers for that. We need around 200 volunteers during the Christmas season just to make that work alone, as well as our Christmas warehouse. So if you would like to come out and be a part of giving out the gifts to the children, you can contact us. It's a great couple of days. Last year we had
nice.
around 80 volunteers come in and assist with passing out the presents to the families, and it was a great day. As well as all year long, we're in need of volunteers. We have a food pantry that is always in need of sorting and packing food boxes, giving out the vegetables and the produce to the families.
Call-in bingo. How fun is that?
Calling right now, matter of fact, right now I had to find somebody to take my place because there is somebody that should be calling bingo for our seniors today. So there's always something that can be done at the Salvation Army.
Well, thank you so much for coming
problem.
by and acquainting us with all of the good that you do here on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
peninsula.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I hope you have learned more about this organization maybe than you knew from just passing by or contributing to those red kettles, and understand that the work goes on all year long. Thanks for watching.